Hello. Today, one of you asked the question, can plasma treat milk? The answer is yes, but it ruins the milk. But let's talk about this. The devil's in the details, and there are a couple of interesting twists and funny examples I want to talk about. So hello, my name is Greg Friedman. I'm a PhD bioengineer. I spent my entire career working in research and development of plasma systems. A lot of them were in food science. And now I run an R&D company doing exactly that. So let's look at the question. Do you think you can expose milk to plasma to increase shelf life? Because it kills bacteria in it. Yes, milk is a very interesting fluid, much like blood is to me. Milk is a very complex colloidal solution. It's full of proteins, fats, sugars. By the way, here I'm assuming you're talking about raw cow milk or raw animal milk, because almond milk is totally different beast. So let's assume it's raw cow milk here. So back to it. Proteins, fats, sugars, plus plasma. Well, plasma, which plasma? Plasma in air. Air has oxygen and nitrogen. When you ionize that, reactive oxygen species will very, very readily react with partially saturated proteins, fats, sugars. It will oxidize fats. Fat burns in room conditions. Just light a match, put it to the fat, and it will burn. So it oxidizes very easily. And oxidized fats, they have smells. You're creating new and tricky volatile organic compounds. Some of them may have good smell. Some of them may have bad smell. You're going to your solution, because there's lots of nitrogen bonds, double nitrogen bonds and triple nitrogen bonds. Molecule can rotate around them, changing its color. So when you start oxidizing these molecules or adding chemistry to them or clipping those molecules, they'll change color. In my experience, if you take room temperature dielectric barrier discharge and treat raw milk, it smells like crap and it turns green. Nasty. Yes. It also kills bacteria. Great. Now you have sterile, nasty smelling, probably all curdled up milk. Let's not forget in room air, you will create nitrogen oxides, and you'll basically create nitrates and nitrites in the milk. Now you're drinking all of that crap. I don't think so. I don't think it's a good idea. So my short answer to that question is it's not a good idea. But atmospheric pressure, room air, dielectric barrier discharge is not the only plasma. You can create plasma in noble gases. You can have additives in the gas phase, maybe some monomers that you can polymerize. I think it's a very interesting research direction at the intersection of multiple science fields. I'm a bioengineer, and part of bioengineering training is learning to speak multiple languages. My job has always been integrating plasma solutions into different environments, ranging from cancer treatment to milk processing or fresh produce growth or disinfection. And I think this is a really interesting bioengineering challenge where a talented food scientist is irreplaceable. Can you use plasma to sterilize milk? Not as is, but food scientists are magicians to me. They can take a product and change it into something else, adding new flavor compounds, new very interesting twists, maybe create a completely new drink. It's possible. It could be done. So I am very curious. There is a Turkish drink that I really like, and it's a couple of ingredients, and by themselves, each ingredient is nasty, at least to me. I don't like any of the ingredients, but when you mix them together, it makes for just a majestic drink. So there is a lot of R&D opportunity here. If you are a talented up-and-coming food scientist, reach out to me. I'm very happy to collaborate on this. I've been thinking about this for many years. I don't know enough about manipulating flavors to do this work, but a cute example here. This was somewhere in Asia. I forget whether this was in Korea or in Japan, but at a plasma conference, there's a new company, and what they did, you know how when you grab a chocolate bar, it starts melting in your fingers. So when you're done eating it, your fingers are all full of brown, gooey stuff. Nasty. These guys, what they did, take a chocolate bar and coat it with micrometer-sized beads of chocolate. They do it using plasma, and I'm happy to chat about how droplets and sprays behave in plasmas. But for the purpose of this story, the chocolate bar is now coated with micrometer-sized beads of chocolate. When you grab it, those beads melt, but they maintain distance between you and the bulk of the bar. So yes, there is a tiny, super thin layer of melted chocolate on your fingers, but you can smell it, but you can't see it, and it's not sticky. It's amazing. So now you're using plasma to coat a chocolate bar so it doesn't stain your fingers. This is brilliant, brilliant. I couldn't come up with that, even though I can come up with a machine to build it. So can plasma disinfect milk? Yes, it can. The product's nasty. And you just asked more questions. With your one clever question, you opened Pandora's box of wonderful and hopefully profitable engineering challenges. Anyway, thanks for asking the question. I hope to get many more questions like this, and I hope I can try answering them. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.